Yeah, so hello guys, this is Shaw and today I'll be introducing you about some basics of ML. Like it would cover the difference between AI versus ML versus DL and the types of ML, like supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and the reinforcement learning. So without wasting time, let's get started. So the first slide is about the understanding the relationship. So many of us get confused, like what is artificial intelligence? Some of you use machine learning, some of us use deep learning. So what is the basic difference between three of them? So this, like it's like very simple. Artificial intelligence is like the outer bubble, and inside that we have the ML, where is the machine learning, and inside the machine learning we have the deep learning. Okay, so it's like artificial intelligence covers everything, and the subset of artificial intelligence is the machine learning, and the subset of machine learning is deep learning. Okay, so like for what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is like having a system that mimics human intelligence. Okay, which means like in simple words, it means like making machines think and act like humans. Examples are like chatbots, self-driving cars, voice assistant, etc. Okay. Then comes the machine learning. Machine learning is the branch of AI, where system like learns patterns from data instead of like being explicitly programmed with a fixed rule. So in traditional programming, we have like input plus rules that gives some output. So now in machine learning, it's like input plus output give the rules or model. Okay, so the model learns from the data and then predicts the new data and it results output for the new data. Okay, and in deep learning is a subset of ML. Okay, uh, now basically it uses the neural networks with many layers. Deep learning is like the advanced version of ML. Deep learning is specifically used for like images, speech, text, video, etc. Okay, so basically for some complex pattern recognition, basically we use deep learning. Okay, so the main idea of ML is like we show the model data plus correct answers. Then the model learns from the relation. Then the model learns the relationship between them. And after training, we give the new data, and the model predicts the answer. Okay. Yeah. So moving on to the next slide. Yeah, I've covered this slide. Actually, the basic difference between the machine learning and the traditional programming. So without wasting time, let's go to the next slide. Types of machine learning. This is very important. So types of machine learning, like there are four types of machine learning styles, like the supervised learning, unsupervised, the semi-supervised, and reinforcement. But the two important ones are supervised and unsupervised. Semi-supervised and reinforcement would be touched later on, but to be on the like very basic understanding, you should be having the knowledge of supervised versus unsupervised. Okay. So what is supervised learning? In supervised learning, what do? We train the model and we train the model using the input and output. That means the data contains both the features and the target. Features is the input columns and target is the output column. So the model learns from like the more what model learns. What model learns is uh, the prediction of input, the prediction of output from the input, and giving the correct answers. Let's give it an example. Like we have a data set of CGP and placement. So the input is CGP and output is like placement. So the output column is already given. So this is supervised learning. Okay. There are types of supervised learning as well, like the regression, the like the regression, classification, and in regression we have like linear regression, logistic regression, etc. And in classification, it's like classification is similar to logistic. So like classification is used in the output and target columns contain categorical values like yes or no or pass or fail, something like that. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, next comes this unsupervised learning. So unsupervised learning, we only have input data. There's no output or target column. So the model finds the hidden patterns by itself. Okay. Uh, and in types of unsupervised learning, we have the clustering, the dimensionality reduction, anomaly detection, etc. Okay. Then comes the semi-supervised learning. In semi-supervised learning, the model uses both small amount of labeled data and large amount of unlabeled data. This is useful when labeling data is like expensive or time consuming. Okay. So the example is like suppose we have 10,000 emails and now only 500 emails are labeled as spam or not spam. Remaining 9,500 emails are unlabeled. So the model learns from the 500 labeled emails and it uses this patterns dated from this input and then uses these patterns for the 9,500 unlabeled emails that we have and give the output. Last comes the reinforcement learning. In reinforcement learning, what we have, the agent learns by interacting with the environment. Like it performs actions and receives like rewards and penalties. The goal is to, what is the goal? The goal is to maximize the role reward. Let's get an example, like self-driving car. If it drives correctly, then it gets a reward. If it breaks the rules or crashes, then penalty. So the model learns through feedback process. Okay. There are many reinforcement learning terms as well. I would be going deeper into it later, but right now we should be like focusing on some basic concepts. So this is detail of supervised learning, which I have already covered most of it. Let's see what I haven't covered. Most of it is covered. Like I can go deeper into the regression, like types of supervised learning, that is regression and classification. So in regression, regression is used like when the output or target column contains a numerical value. Example is like predicting any prediction, like predicting house price, predicting salary, predicting temperature, any numerical value. Okay, so that is like regression. And in classification, it is used like when the output or target column contains the categorical values. That is yes or no, or spam or not spam, pass or fail, disease or no disease, etc. Okay, so that is all about supervised learning. Next comes the unsupervised learning. I have covered most of it, but if you want to go deeper into it, like I can tell something more. Like in supervised learning, we have the, as I have told, like in supervised learning, we have only the input data. There's no output or target column. So the model finds hidden patterns by itself. Okay. Types of unsupervised learning covers the clustering. In clustering, what do you mean by clustering? Clustering is grouping similar data points together. Okay. So example is like what I can think about is like grouping anything, like grouping similar products, grouping similar students, customer segmentation, etc. So an example may be customers with similar behavior are placed in the same group. Okay. Then comes the dimensionality reduction. Dimensionality reduction means reducing the number of dimensional reduction, or PCA is like reducing the number of input features while keeping important information. Okay. An example of it is if we have 100 columns, we may reduce them to 2 or 3 important columns for visualization or some fast training, etc. The common method for doing this is PCA. Then comes anomaly detection. Anomaly detection is finding unusual data points. Example, fraud detection, defective product detection, etc. Then comes the association rules. What is association rule? Association rule learning is like finding relationship between items. Let's give an example. People who buy like people who buy bread also buy butter. So there's the what the model learns is it learns the relationship between the items. Like whenever the person goes to buy a bread, he or she also buys the butter. So it is using like market analysis, recommendation systems, etc. All right. Next comes semi-supervised learning. In semi-supervised learning, what it does is it uses both small amount and large amount of small amount of labeled data and large amount of unlabeled data. So this example I have already covered, so I won't be spending much time on it. So let's move on to the next slide, which is the reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning I have also covered. Okay, like yeah, this one, this thing. This is the like simple RL terms which are there. So like I can suggest you some basic RL terms like term agent. Agent is like learner decision maker. Environment is like world in which agent acts. Okay. Action is like step taken by the agent. Reward is like positive feedback and penalty is the negative feedback. So this is the thing which I haven't covered in the previous one, but right now I've covered it. So I think most of it is covered. So I don't have to go through over it. But still, like for some, again, if you have missed it before, then reinforcement learning, what is it? It is like, and when an agent learns by interacting with the environment, like it performs an action and it receives like a reward or penalty. If the like, uh, if he gets reward, then he does that step. If it's penalty, then it skips that step. Okay. So what is the goal? The goal is to like maximize total reward. Example is the self-driving car, which I've already covered. Like if the car drives correctly, then it's with a reward and follow those steps. And if it breaks rules or crashes, then it gives a penalty, and we don't do that step. Okay. So the model learns through feedback process. Yeah. So this is the quick comparison table between supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised, and reinforcement learning. Okay. So it is like just a quick summary of what all I said. And final revision points are these. Just go through it. And if you like the video, just give us a thumbs up. And please do subscribe my channel. Thank you.